Hi, welcome to Dynamics Accounting and Finance. My name is Jolie. Today we're going to talk about voucher transactions. So, from an accounting perspective, I believe that voucher transaction answers a lot of questions. Just need to know how to filter in order to answer those questions. So, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go over to modules under General Ledger, voucher transactions. Now, I've added in some tables here out of the box. Let me reset this. Out of the box, this is what it's going to look like, and you're going to add in columns. The great thing is as you can see when we first open this, it saves whatever the last search that you've done, which is wonderful. So you don't have to go up here and save this query unless you want a specific query for a specific reason. That's definitely something that if you want a specific query for maybe your write-off transactions or your payments, your customer payments, this is a great report because really this is everything that hits your financials. So if it's hitting your financials, if there's numbers hitting your financials that you don't know what the detail or the story behind those numbers are, voucher transactions is the answer to all your questions. You just need to learn how to filter it to get the answers that you need. Instead of exporting it to Excel and doing pivot tables, you can actually just criteria it down or filter it down to what you need specifically. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So one of the areas that I like to always add is transaction type. So from transaction type, we're going to, from adding a new table, we're just going to search for transaction type. And here we can pull all the sales order transaction types, customer, vendor. I mean, there's just a lot of choices here that might help you filter down what you're looking for. Write-off transactions, this is a common one that the credit team is wanting reports for, so this is a good area. And Microsoft has also added in vendor and customer ID to this table, which is wonderful, so that you can see what customers you wrote off, what transactions. And then we're going to go ahead and add in posting type. I find posting type has a lot of benefit as well. Did I pass it? Yes, pass it. Posting type is very common to get questions from your team that says, what posting type is this? How is this posting type being created? And so if you can pull the posting type, you see it on a voucher transaction, you pull in, you can either go to the voucher or you can just pull all the posting types related to those transactions to kind of see where those posting types are being generated and if they're posting correctly to your ledger. This is a great resource and tool for so many questions that's going to come up. Specifically around purchase expenditure for expense, if you have receipts in the purchase order module, this is a good way to pull all of those transactions. This is definitely going to be helpful for you. Let's go ahead and add in dimensions. Dimensions are great. So your company has determined specific financial dimensions, and you can filter based on those financial dimensions. So if you have a specific cost center and you want to pull all the revenue for that cost center that hit the general ledger, this is the place to do that, right? So we would we would pull in the cost center table, and then we would type in that cost center criteria to pull all those transactions. And I'm going to show you how to use the filtering to pull in only the revenue account. So we'll talk about that in just a second. So let's go ahead and add in another dimension. Let's do business unit. And then let's go ahead and add in project. So the reason why I'm bringing all of these in is to kind of tell you it's limitless. So you can just add in all your financial dimensions and criteria based on those financial dimensions. And lastly, we got transaction type, posting type. I think we're good. Let's get started. So if we were to run this just like this, it would pull a lot of data. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is really hard to navigate. You can export it to Excel and cut and paste and pivot, but that's really not what we want to do. We want to use voucher transactions the way that it was designed to filter it down. So let me show you. One of the things that I like to point out is on this table, I don't see transaction type. Out of the box, transaction type is not here. I added it in to my columns. I also added in a created ID, although that's not really beneficial. So let's actually hide this column and let's go pull in created, well, as you can see, created by. So we get an actual name. This is really beneficial if you need to ask someone questions about why they posted a specific transaction. We're going to hit update. And now we can see who it was created by. Remember, if you add anything to this table, you're going to need to come up here and save it as your view. So I've already created my view. I'm just going to save. But if this was your first time, then you would hit save as, and I would pin it as your default. So every time you open this, you get the same screen. And then I would select for the entity, whether it be all or the current. I'm just going to save mine so that I now have created by that will always pull in. And transaction type you'll need to add in. Now this is where I think is Microsoft did a great job. Vendor name, customer account, it's beneficial. It will help you in so many of your reconciliations. Okay, so let's get down to filtering this data out using voucher transactions. So say we wanted to see all the project transactions for a specific time period. What we would do, and say we want to do this for 2017, we would type in 12/1/27, I'm sorry, 1/1/2017 .12/31/2017. And what that dot in the middle does is it grabs everything from that 1/1 date to 12/31. And the same aspect, we can use this same filtering criteria for main account. So if we want to say, give me all the balance sheet accounts, I think I'm missing a number here. That's it. All the balance sheet accounts for 2017. This is great. Now we could filter it down by cost center, business unit, if we needed to, but for now we're just going to select OK. And now we can see we have all the balance sheet accounts for 2017 transactions in which we could look at this quickly and say, okay, this doesn't belong, or this belongs, or where is this transaction coming from? Go to the original document, see the transaction. We can scroll to the right, see who created it, reach out to this user and ask questions if we needed to. Love this functionality. We'll go back to voucher transactions, and let's say we want to see all the project vouchers. Any voucher that was created in the project module, we're going to use the asterisk. So asterisk, PROJ asterisk. What that does is it says, give me the voucher prefix for proj. This is super amazing functionality because voucher number sequences will typically have, if it's an AP payment, it'll be AP PAY, or if it's an AR payment, it'll be AR PAY. Or free text invoices would be FTV. So your company will have those kind of prefixes. And now we can search just for all project vouchers. And here you can see PROJ, all the project vouchers. Now, what I want to point out is the order of the filtering. So if we scroll through here, you can see that project number, voucher number is filtered in numerical order. And then dates looks like they're somewhat filtered. Yeah, looks like they're filtering through. But the ledger accounts aren't. We could add that layer in there if we wanted to under voucher transactions, under sorting. You could add in main account down here at the very bottom. So if you wanted just to have that extra sorting. Okay. Okay, so we talked about project vouchers, we've talked about dates, talked about balance sheet accounts. Let's talk about if we wanted to see revenue less than or equal $100,000. Let's talk about how to do that. So let's say any revenue account would be 4,000 accounts or 400,000 accounts. And so we're going to use the dot dot. So it's going to be every account between this number and this number. And then we're going to say, okay, we want all transactions. And that's what we forgot to add. Let's add in amount. So we want the account entry amount. And we want to say less than or equal to. So if you want to do less than or equal to $100,000 revenue is a credit balance, then we would want to do dot dot after. So we're saying give me everything less than or equal to a credit of $100,000. Oh, missed a dot, missed a. And then we're going to select OK. And now you can see this 100,000 did pull in, and these are balances, credit balances less than 100, but also equal to 100. And then if we wanted to do this just the other way, this is really beneficial here. Dot. Now it's going to say less than or equal to and give us everything that's less than or equal to $100,000 in the credit balance. So this would be perfect to see all your revenue. Now I'm going to show you a little trick here I love. If you right click on this amount in transaction and total this column, you have your amount here of your revenue. This is a quick way to see, ask questions, drill down, so you can always go down to your original document to see the original transaction for this $500,000 if you had any questions about it. You can also see to the right who created the transaction, the customer name. Wonderful functionality. Okay, so similar to this dot dot amount functionality, because realistically 100,000 less than or equal to, you can do, this is a great way to do it, but if you wanted to do less than sign, you can do that as well. It's just not going to be less than or equal to. So it's not pulling in the 100,000. And the greater sign. So you just have to keep that in mind. It's not pulling in the 100,000. So the dot dot really works best to capture everything that you need. The only thing about using the dot dot is just to keep in mind that your whichever, if you want this 100,000 captured in the less than or equal to, then for example, here we can have it here, but if we wanted, we did not want it included, we would do right? Yeah. and it's not included here. So you would just have to change your filtering amounts. Okay, next let's start with the same criteria, but we just wanted to see the free text invoices as well for this. So just show me all the free text. So here's the voucher prefix again. And now we can see all the free text invoices in one spot. Oh, one final trick here is two main accounts at the same time. So say we wanted to see all the transactions for one balance sheet account and just the other, another balance sheet account. We would just do a comma. Oh, it's if you don't get data, it's more than likely something in your criteria. So I had free text vouchers. So now I'm just looking for the dates for these specific dates for these two main accounts. And when I select OK, I see just those accounts. And I do see them in numerical order based on our sorting. I hope that this is helpful. Voucher transactions is amazing. I love it. I love everything about it. I love that it answers all of our questions really when it comes to accounting and finance, general ledger. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like, please subscribe. I am dropping videos almost every day. This is my passion. This is my love. Please add comments and tell me what you think. And thank you for watching.